If they start with but so-and-so didn't pull out the laundry, so I didn't know there was laundry, or so-and-so didn't put away their shoes, so I couldn't put away my shoes and all that stuff. I'm like, you know what? The excuses can stop. If there is something that somebody else isn't doing, please let me know as quickly as possible so I can address that person. But you don't get to blame it on anybody else. Like, I have expectations that you will get this stuff done. You all walked away like it didn't matter. It does matter. Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world. All right, guys, welcome back. Excited to be here today with my beautiful bride, Miss Jacquie Francis. I have a question for you.
Okay, first of all, I don't even know who I'm sitting across from right now. Like,
oui, mon chéri.
I think you've been reading a little.
Pepe Le Pew.
No,
it's all the French I know.
I think goes to show the kind of things you watched growing up. I didn't know if you were studying Fancy Nancy with Hunter lately.
No, but I have a question for you. Why is Peter Pan always flying?
I have no idea.
Because he never lands.
Oh my!
You know, I love that joke because it never grows old.
I think you've been practicing on your own over here. Maybe with the kids you have been.
Hey, have you heard the rumor going around about butter? Never mind, I shouldn't spread it.
Get your finger off the button.
That's funny stuff right there. Okay, baby. What are we talking about today?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I was talking with you earlier today about a topic that came up, and I just thought it was really, really good topic to hit on today. And it kind of surrounded, I was on a walk with one of my friends, and we were just talking about the dynamic of organizing your household.
Yeah, I heard it was an interesting walk. You guys didn't realize that there was like the biggest festival of the year going on.
I know. There was like a 5K run.
Plus a bike race.
Yeah, the bikers,
plus a parade forming up.
Right. Like all this stuff was going on, and we're kind of looking around, and yeah, needless to say, I will tell you, there's somebody jamming though. There was this guy pushing a double running stroller with his two kids in it.
Wow.
With his boombox thing, like, and
just cruising,
jamming, and he was, yes, I was impressed. I was like, wow, man, you go, you know, like,
nice. Well, I'm glad you didn't get run over.
Yeah, I mean, definitely didn't get run over, but it was neat. It was neat seeing people outside enjoying, you know, like a lot of families running and all that stuff. That was really cool. Mm-hmm. I should have dropped the kids off. They could have done a quick 5K.
Mm-hmm. Well, they pretty much did today, though.
Right
here in the neighborhood. Like
I was saying it would have been great for them to be in the race.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that would have been fun to, you know, have somebody else to run against instead of themselves. And we do have our own tribe running all the time, but whole nother topic. I was on a walk today with my friend, and, you know, we were just talking about the dynamics of organizing your house and what that looks like. And they have 4 kids of their own. Obviously, then we have 6. And just what that looks like to, you know, have organization, have things getting accomplished, having it all done, but having peace in the house while doing it. Mm-hmm. And what that looks like to organize your kids and organize yourself and your household and your husband. And the husbands need the most organization, but
sure.
And then you throw in all the other stuff, right? Dogs and all the stuff, you know, it just can get really busy in a household. And it's summertime right now, so kids are, you know, not doing schoolwork, so they're not exactly like busy during the day. And so we were just talking about how do we do that and be the best version of ourselves while we're doing that? Because I remember going through a season when our kids were younger and we hadn't really studied some of the things that we have now instilled in our household to make it run more efficient and more peaceful. I remember there would be times when kids are doing what they're doing, you're doing what you're doing, I'm doing what we're doing, but like the house is disorganized. People aren't getting chores done. People aren't listening. You know, they're not picking up after themselves. They're not, like, just, it's just like chaos going on, it feels like. And I don't know about anybody else, but you walk into your house and it's okay if things are kind of organized chaos. It's okay. But when like nobody's listening, you're kind of screaming for kids and you're just like all like stressed out, it's no fun. Like, it's no fun for anybody. And I remember doing that as a...
In particular, as a high achiever.
Correct.
When you are a go-getter and a getter-doner kind of person, then it's very obvious. When things are a clutter, it 100% affects your performance. And so we know that for our office space. Not that it never gets messy, but I know for me personally, when I take the time to organize stuff, I feel like a more productive person. I feel like a more successful person. And we've taught this to our kids. And that's why, we're not hyper anal about the house has to look perfect all the time and completely spotless. You gotta realize, when you have 6 kids, there's going to be a mess, but we don't leave it a mess. And it's part of the philosophy we've taught our kids about how this isn't just, our stuff. This is God's stuff. And this is why we take care of God's stuff. And so I just want to, kind of give that background because, I can imagine if you're listening to this, you'd be like, okay, well, they're hyper neat people or something like that, and it's like, no, it's not really necessarily our personality type, either one of us. It's more that we just believe that an organized home is a well cared for home. It represents what we want to represent. And so we try to make sure we have a standard around it, right?
Correct. And so when you're in an atmosphere that it's not organized like that, it can, like you just said, it can really bring stress upon things. Yeah. And we were just saying how both of us within the last couple of days, we're kind of organizing our house in these situations and what that looked like for us. And like it was kind of going on, when I was younger, like a younger mom, I didn't really understand how to do this. I would just kind of walk in and next thing you know, in my opinion, the house wasn't kind of in the most organized state. So I would just start huffing and puffing and running around cleaning up.
Yeah.
I'd be throwing toys in the toy boxes and not asking for help and almost getting mad about it that nobody would help me.
Right.
And then I would come to you and you didn't really understand it because maybe my space that I wanted cleaned up didn't really affect you in your space. So you didn't understand it at the time.
Or not even really understanding what you want. Do you want the toys out right now for the kids? Do you not want the stuff out? Like there's a lot, when you're not talking about it, you just don't really know.
Yeah, so a lot of that would go on. I'd go to bed literally exhausted, because I felt like everything was on my shoulders. Mm-hmm. Like that nobody was helping me, that I was the only one that cared about cleaning up the house, that I was the only one that was doing the work. And so I would get really frustrated and didn't communicate it well. But even when I did, I don't even know, if anybody helped at the time. But now you fast forward and we've learned so much what that looks like to come together and work as a team. Mm-hmm. And so we were just explaining the fact that, one of the jobs is like mom in our household and in my friend's household too, is to help there be peace in the house and organization happening.
Yeah.
That is one of the things. But peace is a part of that. Mm-hmm. Having peace in your house does come from like mom down or dad down, and if as the primary person tending to the kids, that's my role to make that happen.
Right.
And so how do we do that? So if things start kind of spiraling, kids aren't getting their chores done, the house isn't picked up, kids aren't really listening. I'm coming in the past, I would start screaming like, kids, where are you? What's happening? Why isn't this done? Why isn't this done? What, and they're kind of running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Like, oh God, mom's screaming. What's happening here? And we came to the conclusion that we really wanted to help train our kids how to better assist us to make the house the most efficient house for us. So now what we do is, when I walk into a room or I walk into a situation or you walk into a situation, typically we grab the whole tribe together, right? Like we call everyone to the area.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few layers. One, when we, especially if we're going on a trip or doing anything like that, we try to do the team meeting every week and we try to plan out the days and set some expectation about what needs to be done. And I'm sure you'll talk about that in a second, just about our trip we just did. But just because we did that doesn't mean it always, gets executed. Right. And so with your example, I mean, I can relate to the fact that there's a lot of times when we're busy, like we're running to and from places and we're kind of on a time frame. And so, especially in the summer when there's a little less structure with the kids' schedule, it's amazing how that works for all of us. Like the less structure we have, the less productive we all get. I know myself, same thing. If I don't have it, I'm always the most productive on the days I'm like the busiest and it's planned busyness. And then if I have a whole free day, it's amazing how much how little we can do. It's just crazy.
So little amount of things
and
getting
so,
done around here then.
amplify that with a level of immaturity, just being a youth. And so, sometimes I know when we walk in and we had an expectation of them accomplishing certain things, and all of a sudden you walk in and there's stuff on the counter, and there's an area they were wrestling in over in this other room, and there's cushions off the couch, and maybe some shoes are left in the hallway, or we go in the garage and they've been playing ping pong in there the whole time, but there's stuff left out and in the way, and then what? At first usually it's like you're like trying to. You see like one thing at a time, and you're kind of like, hey, so-and-so, come take care of this, and then next it's like, hey, so-and-so, and then by the third thing, you're kind of like, hold the phone. Yes. Hey, everybody needs to come here.
Yeah, typically, because I don't want to be the screaming person. I don't want to be emotional.
Yeah, because they're spread out all over the house. So it ain't like you're screaming at them next to you. It's like you're screaming across the house to try to get someone's attention. And I
can't remember which kid I'm naming at this point, because I'm just like, and then by like no surprise.
And then the excuses start happening. Anyways.
Oh, the excuses start.
Bruce, come take care of this. Yeah. It was Ellie. Yeah.
That's not my shoe. She moved it.
Right.
The dog moved it.
So now we're screaming
I'm like,
across
now
the house. And,
the dog moved something.
Right.
Like, I'm like, everyone please come here. And
like a little while ago, there was what did we have? What was that? Egg salad.
Yes.
So there's like a dish of egg salad sitting on a counter, and that she had just pulled out of the fridge, right? And you were you were asking Ellie, like, hey, so where's the lid for this? Oh, it's in the dishwasher. And you were like, what do you mean? You just took it out of the refrigerator. Well, yeah, but it was getting washed, so I just you left it in there like that all night. And then she instantly switched into, well, I told Dad that there was food in there, so I thought he would eat it. So she's trying to blame me now for putting a lid on.
And did you hear her? I go, Dad doesn't even eat salad.
She totally tried to push it on me. I was right in the room.
And she looks at me, she goes, so what should I do with this? Hey, I need everybody to come here, like.
Yeah.
And so I don't like screaming. And so I tend to say, you know what? After, like you said, I'm tripping over about 4 or 5 things at this point.
Yeah.
It's time for a little huddle. And I'm like, you know what? It's time to huddle, guys. Everyone go get your siblings. Everyone please come here. And I've learned to try to lower my voice in these situations instead of raise it, because at that point I can feel my blood pressure going up, and I don't want to start accusing people of things that they did or didn't do. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to get this fixed so that we can move on with life. And so the kids are typically like, hey, mom needs us. They're screaming through, mom needs us. Right. And you'll see Greg pop around the corner. Do you need me? Like, are we all in trouble here?
Well, or do you need my backup?
Right.
Right.
I mean, that's really it. But, you're kind of like, are we all huddling? And I'm like, typically if you have time, I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. Can you join us actually? Because why don't we just talk about this together? Yeah. And if you're in the middle of something, like, clearly go do what you got to do. Yeah. But typically I'm like, actually that'd be great, honey. Can you join us? Because it just seems like we need to kind of come together again. And I will just tell you, every time we do that, it gives me an opportunity to look at the kids and be like, hey guys, so here's what's going on. This is what I'm frustrated with. This is what I saw. This is what's happening. I understand probably everyone has a reason, but this is not going to work right now. So let's have a game plan to start cleaning all this up. If they start with but so-and-so didn't pull out the laundry, so I didn't know there was laundry, or so-and-so didn't put away their shoes, so I couldn't put away my shoes, and all this stuff. I'm like, you know what? The excuses can stop. If there is something that somebody else isn't doing, please let me know as quickly as possible so I can address that person. But you don't get to blame it on anybody else. Like, I have expectations that you will get this stuff done. You all walked away like it didn't matter. It does matter. This is not just your home. We're going to respect what's going on. And I kind of give a little, talk. And I typically try to ask kids, like, do you have anything you want to say? Because I'm open to hear it right now. Like, well, Mom, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for that to happen. I just got distracted with that. I go, okay, well, now I'm glad you admitted that you got distracted. Let's not have that happening again.
Yeah, and I love that you do that now, because I think it's, again, another thing that we learned. Because there used to be a time where you just walk in and have to do this stuff, and it's a little frustrating. So then it's like, just go do this, and people start trying to give their explanation of whatever. It sounds like an excuse, but then when we just would shut it down. Like, no, I don't want to hear any of this. Just go do it. But then we had a couple situations where it would build up with one or two of our kids because they really did have legitimate reasons. They really did carry their own weight. And a couple other kids really dropped the ball.
Yes.
And they were all kind of getting in trouble for it collectively. And they didn't feel like they had a voice, to be able to explain that. And so you've been really good about opening that up. And we'll talk more about that in the next episode.
All right.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.